What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. The Stapler here, and today we have somebody that actually went on and topped pretty well at the Brookfield regional that we had over the last weekend. I'm gonna let him introduce himself, let him tell us how he did and what deck he's playing, and give us a few shout outs if he wants. So let's hear it, man.
What's up, guys? I'm Eric GARDE, and I first place at the Brookfield Regional, and it was my very first regional, so I'm just glad that my very first regional that I attended, not only I got to top, but I managed to get my first win. And yeah,
That's
overall record,
badass.
I went 9-0, so I didn't drop a single match, which was really surprising because I was actually expecting to go like X3 drop, but the deck that I'm playing carried me.
Nah, you carried
So
the
yeah.
deck, dude. Let's be honest.
So the deck that I played today is I call it my bad deck. So it's actually branded Adventure Despia. And yeah, there's nothing to say more. I have a few shoutouts before I get into the profile.
Let's hear him.
So my first shout goes to Jack and Eli for lending me some of the cards. Second shout goes to my friends that came with me, so Oscar, Shaggy, Colin, Michael. It was pretty much our very first regional together, so it was really fun, getting together and just just enjoying this experience, our very first. And then shouts to Darian and Alex for helping me playtest. Shouts to Sebastian Todd, aka DailyB7, for helping me work on this list. And then shouts to my girlfriend for being super supportive. And also shouts to the Stapler for letting me be on his channel. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like.
Sweet,
Comment down
dude.
this video.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this deck profile, dude. Like, honestly, this is some spicy stuff, so let's get into it.
Alright, so first off, I play 3 fusion, 3 red, and then 3 opening. So, Brain Fusion is actually like an FTK if this card resolves. Brain Red is really important to have a 3 of, because if you're playing any decks that involve with Artifact Scythe, you just need to search this card off of Aluber, and then with that play, say if you do summon Aluber, you search red, and then you crash Aluber with Scythe, and then now on your opponent's turn, you have a play with Brain in red. So it didn't really come up that often, but in theory, it works. And then opening, it's just like another copy of Aluber. So yeah, so this like 9 cards, and then a small package that some people are not playing, but I think it's important to at least test it out, is Branded Lost, the Tri-Brigade monster Mercurier, and then that'll be on. So these two, so when I play this deck, I consider Brain Red being really important if fusion is resolved. So with Brandon Lost, what it does is it's basically like Magical Meltdown, where your opponent can't really negate the activation of any of your fusion summons, and then on the summon they can't respond to it. And then Mercury is basically it's like a hand trap for monster effects. So say if you activate Brain Red, they can't ghost spell it because they're trying to negate the activation, which Brain Lost says no to. And then if they try to DD Crow your target with Brain Red, Mercurier is just like a hint trap that also says no to it. So as long as I have Lost and Mercurier, Brain Red will always resolve no matter what. I think the only thing that kind of like covers that is Call By, which I didn't really see Call By on my Brain Red target, but just something to know about it. And then
Yeah,
obviously I'll be honest, like a upstart.
yeah, man. I
So
think I think Brandon Lost and Mercury they are really good cards. Somebody used Lost against me in that tournament, and it was really strong. Not with the magical meltdown effect of not responding to fusion summons. It's actually pretty nuts because then you can chain all your effects like Mirror Jade and all that on summon, and then it's like it just goes nuts from there.
yeah.
Pretty
And
good.
then look, then I played 2 Fallen Valbass, injury requirements, so you just have to play 2. You don't want to play one of it because you always need to see the other one, and then you don't want to play 3 because sometimes seeing the third is somewhat of a brick. So I think 2 is just a fine ratio. And then as for my adventure package, it's just standard. So 3 water, 3 Ray, Faithful, Dracoback, Griffin Rider, and then Foolish has another copy of Water Enchantress. So just decent cards. Absolute broken. I would never play a deck without these because this engine is so insane.
Yeah, dude, it's actually busted.
Yeah. And then for my Despia engine, I play 2 Lubers. So yeah, I said Luber is really important. But at the same time, it conflicts with the Brief engine. So you just have to like kind of cut down on your normal summons. So I think 2 is just like a fine number. It is really important because it gets you any of your branded cards. So that's nice. Tragedy, just 2. It's kind of like the same thing. So it's really good in a grind game if you have this card in the graveyard because you could banish yourself to set like what do you call that? Set any of the branded cards. So sometimes what I would do is I would use Albion effect to send branded lost, and then use a tragedy effect to reset my brand lost and activate it. So when I activate brand fusion, and if that resolves, it just plus really hard, and my opponent can't really respond to it.
Sick, dude.
Mm-hmm. And then the one to ad lib, this card is also really broken, but you really don't want to see it because it doesn't really do anything to your hand, or yeah, it just doesn't do anything like on your turn 1 plays unless you're going with a Dracos to Paleo play. But yeah, so that, and then I'm playing the Pfeiffer package, so 3 chain, 3 patchwork, and then 2 poly. So I used to play 2 chain, but I bumped it up to 3 because being a discard fodder is really insane, and just like that's you so many advantage. And then patchwork is basically a pot of greed because it gets you poly and gets you chain. So yeah, it's just insane.
Really good. Yeah, I don't know how many times I got resolved against me.
Patrick is so good.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just need the 2 poly. You don't need to max out on it.
Right.
But yeah. And then as my non-engine, 3 droplets, 3 super poly, and then call by. So this basically, like, as you can see, I'm not playing any hand traps. I'm not a huge fan of playing hand traps, and I just went with the board breaker style, and I was just really comfortable with it. But these cards can work against if I lose the die roll, like if I see any of these cards, it's just super insane. Super Poly is kind of mediocre in my opinion against the mirror match. I played 2 mirror matches, but unfortunately those 2 players, they both brick, so I can't really say if Super Poly was good because I just relied on my adventure package just to break their board. So can't really say if Super Poly is needed in the main deck in the future, but I can only say that it's something to like consider taking out in the future.
Okay, yeah, I mean it's definitely a power card, man. All of those are power cards, so
yeah. And then also call by is basically telling me that I need brand fusion to resolve, so don't ash me.
Yeah.
And then the last card, Rare Tail Snow. This card is a god card. There's so many times I won games because of her, because I would activate Branded Fusion, send her, and then send Albaz, and then go into Albion, and then go into battle phase, poke some damage, and then just having her in the graveyard, just like banish and everything, and just like summon her and attack for game. It's really insane. So yeah,
it's nuts,
I won a lot of games because of her.
Yeah, we'll see how long that stays off the ban list.
Yeah. So 45 cards in the main deck, onto the extra deck. So token cards. Play 3 Albion. 2 where is it? 2 Rebellion, and then 2 Mirror Jade. So just the 3-2-2 ratio. Someone asked me if the second Mirror Jade ever came up. I don't think so, but like in the grind game, I think the second one does come up. just in case one of them, like, you can't summon back. So that's just like important. But other than that, like, I think you just need the second one during grind games, to be honest.
Okay.
The non-targetable interruption is really nice.
Yeah, it's really good.
And then I played 2 Chimera. So the Chimera actually won my finals. Because my opponent, he only had Executor and then Shizuku on field. And then I activated Poly and went to Chimera and popped his Executor and then Shiz. And I also chain block with chain. So for sure this card, it wasn't going to get ashed. And you can't target this card as long as Poly is in the graveyard. So my opponent can't even like Widow Anchor it or Imperm Effect Feeler, which I think my opponent had Effect Feeler in hand. I'm not sure. He was like looking at my card for a while. So, I mean, this card just like came in clutch, and that's how I won my final.
Right on, dude.
Already low on health, and this card has got 33 beast stick.
It is. It is pretty big.
And then, I also play 2 Masquerade. Masquerade kind of come up a few times. I goofed in one of my rounds where I thought I summoned Masquerade instead of summoning Lebellion because they're really right next to each other, and I couldn't tell the difference which one was Lebellion, so I accidentally summoned Masquerade and kind of messed up on combo. So that was unfortunate, but I still won that game, so never punished.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's how you win nine games, dude. Luck. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. And then I played the one other Despia monster. I didn't make this Despia monster that much. I know during testing I made it a lot, but for this event, it's just like there's no scenario where I needed this card to be on board. But yeah, I can't really say if I want to continue playing this card or not. But yeah, she did her job during testing, just not at the regional. And then I played the Draco Stapelio. So this card is really nice if you're trying to do combos where I don't know what was the hand specific. I should probably tell you this is like my first IRL event playing this deck, so I'm still learning with it. I grinded for 2 weeks on this deck and then decided to play this over Dragon Link. But yeah, so I don't know the specific combo, but you're supposed to end with this card and then a Mirror Jade with Branded in red. But yeah,
that's nuts.
This card did came up a few times. I super polyed my opponent's DPE, and then their one random dark monster, so that was nice.
Yeah, I was gonna say Soup Poly. That's a good Soup Poly target for sure.
Yep. And then 1 Link Spider, and then 1 Verte. Just in case if you don't have like Branded Fusion, and if you have a really weak hand, you go into Verte.
Right.
And then get a Mirror Jade. So yeah.
The Link Spider just if you get nibbed or what?
Oh, Link Spider. So it's actually for the adventure token, so I could just link that off, because Verte requires 2 effect monsters.
Oh,
so sometimes I just need I just need another monster on board, or another effect monster on board to make Verte.
Okay.
That's why. And then onto the side, so I play 3 Token Collector. I can't remember if I put Token Collector in against any of my matchups. It was really subpar playing this card because when it came to siding posts or siding games 2 and 3, it's just I didn't know what cards to take out, and then just Token Collector would never like go in, so I can't really say if I should cut this card. I guess you could say that this card is only good against like print kits, any like adventure engine or Sorcerer, but unfortunately I didn't play any against or any of those 3 decks. So Token Collector didn't really come up. And then I'm also playing 1 Banshee, 1 Zombie World. This card, these 2, is basically an FDK against Flinders. Because they can't really tribute summon, so they have to make like a weird play where they would have to summon Zeus. I think it's if they open up with a bird and with map, they just normal summon the bird off map effect, and they summon another bird to go 9 Gale. but yeah, it only came up in testing. I don't think not a lot of people did that play.
I mean,
But
I got Zombie World. I'll tell you that much. It made me lose a game, but
yeah, Zombie World is really good.
yeah, it's pretty
In this
good.
meta. So yeah. I also play 3 Cosmic. I play Cosmic over Twin because sometimes you can't really afford the discard fodder. So I think Cosmic is just way better. Yeah, just it's way better than 1 Red Reboot. I never put Red Reboot in. Thankfully because I didn't play against any Eldritch players. So
You got
I'm
lucky.
just so glad. Yeah, I'm glad I dodged all of those players.
Right.
And then I guess the spice card is I'm actually putting the second Draco back inside. So the theory is this was actually Duster, but I was talking to my friends saying say if I do play against like a an Eldritch deck and if they have Heavenly Prison, Duster would be dead against that. So I wanted to have a searchable what do you call that? A searchable like back removal and just like having another Draco back is really important. It's also important if you get Mystic Mind because this card just helps out it. So
Right.
yeah, and I guess the mirror match is like mediocre because you could bounce their Mirror Jade and their Mirror Jade won't like resolve or they won't Rikeki your board at the end phase. So yeah, so these 5 cards back removal,
Nice.
and then to round off, 3 Crossout and then 2 Ash. So this is like my only crossout target. So like I said, with the Brandon Lost, it helps me play around DD Crow and Ghost Spell, while these 5 cards help me, you know, make sure that my branded fusion is resolving. But
Right.
yeah, I guess the mirror match is actually insane. I think it came up once where I had these 2 in hand. My opponent, he activated Patrick, I ashed it, and then he activated Brandon Fusion, and I changed Grosso. So
Dude,
yeah,
Crossout's really good. I actually decided to main Crossout, so it was a good card.
yeah. At the moment, I'm not sure how I feel about Crossout moving forward. Um, I still have to test out more with this deck. I just don't know where I want to cross out, either in side deck, main deck, or I might have to cut it. But
Right.
other than that, that's pretty much it with deck list.
Sweet, and that's the mat and the deck box you got, huh? Let's see that thing.
Matt and deck
Sick, dude.
box.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming on to the channel, Eric. Congrats on your 9-0 first in-person regional. You got the dub, dude. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, dude. Catch you later.
See you.